I bought my parents a $425,000 lakeside cabin for their 50th anniversary. When I got there, my mother was weeping and my father looked shattered. My brother's family had claimed it. He strode toward my dad, gestured to the porch, and shouted, "This is our house now. Get out." My sister-in-law smirked until I stepped through the door. And then the shouting stopped. My name is Sophia. I'm 38, the older child, the one who handles things. I'm a corporate lawyer. I live out of a meticulously organized closet and a briefcase full of pending acquisitions. I measure my life in 6-minute increments and deposition schedules. I rarely sleep. I run before sunrise. And I save almost everything I earn because I was raised on the sound of declined credit cards and the phrase, "maybe next paycheck." I learned to read foreclosure notices before I could read chapter books. At 9 years old, while my dad stared at a shut-off warning, I felt the texture of adult fear. And I learned to be the solution. 3 weeks ago, my parents celebrated 50 years of marriage. I wanted them to have something they never had, a place where the air smelled like pine and water, where the floors were solid, and nothing reminded them of payday loans or pawn shops. I found an A-frame cabin tucked into the woods by a lake. Rustic but strong. A stone fireplace, a screened-in porch, and huge windows framing the water like a painting. $425,000, paid in full. I closed the deal in their names. I set up the utilities, stocked the pantry, and left their favorite wine on the counter with a note that said, "For quiet evenings and loud card games. I love you." I told no one, not even my brother. Leo, when I drove up on their anniversary weekend, cheesecake in one hand and a thermos of good coffee in the other. I saw a minivan parked in the driveway, Leo's minivan. The front door was open. The screen door hung crooked. Inside, my mother twisted a tea towel in her hands. My father sat slumped in an armchair surrounded by duffel bags and toys. A cartoon blared from a tablet. Then Leo appeared. Athletic shorts. Smug face. He jabbed a thumb toward the porch. "This is our house now. Get out from the sofa." Chloe added, "Don't be dramatic, Dad. We're just moving in." The cardboard cheesecake box in my hands felt flimsy, and something in me went cold, the same cold I feel before a hostile takeover. Before I tell you how I dismantled their entire operation in under 1 hour, you need context. Leo. 3 years younger. The creative one turned the one with potential, turned the one with endless bad luck. My parents enabled. They excused. They absorbed the cost, and I paid for it. His rent. Covered by me. His coding boot camp. Funded by me. His kids' braces. Paid by me. His car impound fees, his eviction, his latest business idea. All on my Amex. My bank history reads like a diary of his failures. Leo groceries. Chloe electric bill. Leo interview suit. Every transfer felt like a temporary patch holding our family together. I was wrong. When I bought the cabin, I structured purchase like a fortress. I put the deed in an irrevocable trust. My parents were the sole lifetime beneficiaries. I prepaid taxes, HOA fees, and changed all the locks. For the first time in years, I exhaled. My parents loved the cabin. My mom whispered, "It smells like safety." My dad couldn't speak, but dysfunction hates a vacuum. Leo saw a Facebook photo of a sunset mom posted and used the metadata to locate the cabin. They arrived with kids, luggage, and entitlement thick enough to choke on. They declared they were staying to help settle in. By Saturday morning, they'd claimed the entire cabin, and then they tried to take it. They listed the cabin for rent. Chloe posted a photo on Instagram, the new family getaway. So blessed. They'd listed my parents' home online. No owner on site. Payout to Leo's bank account. I drove up immediately. Inside, Leo lectured my parents about getting older, about stairs being dangerous, about them needing his help. Chloe smiled and announced they were already thinking about renting it for the summer. My father sat trembling, the man who'd worked 16-hour factory shifts just so we could have school. Supplies, he was being erased, and that was when I stepped in. I put the cheesecake on the counter. My voice was calm, cold, and corporate. Leo, who gave you permission to list this house? He rolled his eyes. Family property is family property. So I laid 4 documents on the table. The recorded deed, an irrevocable trust. My parents have exclusive and indisputable right of occupancy. The trust instrument. As successor trustee, I am legally obligated to remove anyone threatening their peace. A printout of the rental listing, fraudulent, illegal, traceable, the HOA bylaws. No rentals under 6 months. $10,000 fine. Legal action. Then I placed my phone on the table, drafted email to HOA, drafted report to the rental platform, drafted text to Mark, the retired sheriff's deputy waiting at the end of the driveway. Leo tried to laugh. He failed. Chloe hissed, "You're a monster. You're tearing this family apart over a house." "No," I said. "I'm done financing your chaos. That's not cruelty. That's a boundary." Mark rang the bell. "The eviction took 2 hours." Leo ranted. Chloe wept theatrically. The kids carried toys to the minivan. I made tea for my mother, but they weren't done. Leo launched a smear campaign online. My rich lawyer sister stole my parents' retirement home. Chloe posted about elder abuse. Cousins messaged me. I sent one email, polite, professional, and freezing cold. All communication would go through my office. They were banned from the property. Trespassing would be reported. Then came the escalation. They returned to the cabin waving a forged lease, screaming at my parents. I saw it through the porch camera. I sent them the screenshot and a link to state laws about felony forgery. They left in 90 seconds. The social media posts vanished. The drama evaporated. They had finally understood. This was not a family argument. This was a legal battle. And I do not lose. 2 weeks later, I visited the cabin. No chaos, just peace. My mom made pancakes. My dad hung a bird feeder. We talked about squirrels. No one said my brother's name. Then my mom touched my hand. "I'm going to call him," she said. "Not to reconcile, to tell him he was wrong. And until he apologizes, he's not welcome." My father nodded. "I never taught him how to be told no." "You taught me to be loyal," I said. "I'm finally learning that loyalty to the family can't mean disloyalty to myself." Later that night, I drove by the cabin. Lights glowing. My father reading. My mother working on a puzzle. Their home. Safe, protected, finally theirs. And here's what I know now. Love is not a blank check. Love isn't absorbing endless blows because you share DNA. Love is strong locks, legal paperwork, and the courage to say no. I am their daughter, precise, steady, relentless. A sister who finally understood that boundaries aren't the end of love. They're the beginning. If my brother ever wants to stand on that porch again, he can, with an apology in his hands instead of a demand. Until then, the cabin stands. The cameras watch. The lake is quiet. My parents are at peace, and that is the whole point. A gift should never cost you your own peace of mind. And a boundary is not cruelty. It is protection. If you agree, share this story. Someone out there needs to hear that it's okay to finally lock the door.